So let's do a brief thing going from the top. So here's the total number of objects and the initial velocity. All of these things are just basically the x and y components of position, velocity, acceleration. We have our mass. These are for calculations. I left G at 1. Calculations for force, and then finding the largest mass. We have our setup. So however many objects we have get set up here. Here's our drawing. Here's calculating our force. So here's drawing everything in general. This is our loop. And here's actually drawing our objects, our ellipses. Here's updating our position. Here's the inelastic collision event. And here's where we do our zooming. So all of that is part of our simulation. Now, as far as actually playing with this, now that we have something that's cool and looks pretty great, you can change the number of objects here, and that'll change how many start off. So for example, if I want 100, we get a lot more objects to start with. And you'll have to see what that does to your simulation. The other thing you can do is you could make your initial velocities much larger. So I have 1.5 here. If I change that to 5.0 instead, there's a lot more randomness to where they shoot off. So maybe that was a little bit too much, because down here it is randomly deciding from the negative to the positive of that particular velocity. The last thing that you might try changing is changing the mass. So I'm choosing between 1 and 20. If I choose between 5 and 100, that drastically changes the way things work. Hopefully that gives you a sense of programming and also gives you a sense of how gravity works in this particular simulation. It might be interesting to play with a whole bunch of different variables here. Try changing the objects and velocities and masses and see if you get any elliptical orbits that end up naturally occurring.